All right, back again. Second attempt. Sorry, I was on the wrong internet, and I want to make sure I'm on the internet that's not going to give us trouble here. So, waiting for some people to show up. Welcome. Today, I am talking about breathwork as a tool for shamanic journeying. Jason's back on. Thanks, Jason. So as mentioning, I was on the wrong internet. I want to make sure we don't get any interruptions. And we have a dedicated internet now for our live Rhythmia broadcasts here. Who's that? Marina, all right. Hi there, good to see you. More people. Reba, hello there. Laurel. Today my eyes aren't working as well as they could be, but I will make it. I will do my best to read the comments and things like that. We're just buying a little time, welcoming people on as we wait. I'll introduce myself right now. The topic today is breathwork as a tool for shamanic journeying. And my name is Christian Minson, Breathflow Wellness, resident breathwork leader here at Rhythmia Life Advancement Center in beautiful Costa Rica, where it is sunny, warm, and always beautiful, pretty much. Yeah, give me some likes and hearts if you are in love with Costa Rica or in love with the idea of getting down here. I'm some background on me. I'm a transformational breathwork facilitator, senior trainer for the Transformational Breath Foundation for the last 11 years now. I was a former monk. I was a monk in a spiritual order, a meditative order for the last, or not for the last, but for 10 years. I got out of that 11 years ago. And I'm an author. A contributing author to a best-selling book, Align, Expand, and Succeed, Shifting the Paradigm of Entrepreneurial Success. This is a book on the emerging field of conscious business or conscious entrepreneurship, merging consciousness and business so that the bottom line is no longer just profit, but what they call a triple or quadruple bottom line. People, planet, profit, and purpose. So, I contributed a chapter in there. My chapter is called Shift Happens, Inspiration for Life and Transition, talking about transitions in our lives. And I use the story of my transition from my monastic life, my monastic career, back into my worldly life here and becoming a breath worker, and how the breath work actually helped me to make that decision. And in that chapter, then I offer some practical tips for how to use the breath to make decisions in your life when you come to that crossroads where you're, could I do this choice or that choice? How to use the breath, weighing each choice so that you get the right answer, the answer that your soul is speaking to, not the answer that necessarily your head is speaking to. And why do I bring this up? Because now this book is available in Rhythmia, in the Rhythmia bookstore. So you come here, it's already been selling copies, I'm happy to say. So just got put in there this week. So if you come on down to Rhythmia, you can get a copy of that book, as well as Jerry's new book, Stuff the Moon Said. It's a little bit more foul than that, but Stuff the Moon Said by Jerry Powell. His book on this whole Rhythmia experience and how it came to be. So we got 30 people kind of on right now. Who's joining on? Amy, Pura Vida, yeah. Tiff, see you this Sunday. Excellent. Linda Young Thomas, hey, fun to see me again. Good to see you again on here. Philip, hello. Clear Purpose, Marilyn. Jason, of course, and Dio, Liam. Hello to everybody out there. It's good to have some people on, and so I think this is we bought enough time for to put some people on. So the topic today, once again, breathwork as a tool for shamanic journeying. This roughly corresponds to the last 3 weeks we've gone over breathwork for physical enhancement, breathwork as a tool for emotional integration and catharsis, and now I've got another. In all full disclosure, I thought I was speaking on breathwork. Can breathwork replace meditation this week? And that will be a topic for the future. That was more in alignment with the spiritual dimension of breathwork. But breathwork as a tool for shamanic journeying works well with the whole spiritual dimension. As well, it works with the whole program here at Rhythmia. For those who, those of you know, some of you may not know, but the whole program is built around ceremonies, and I like to say we have 7 ceremonies here each week. 4 of them happen to be plant medicine ceremonies, where we use plant medicine for shamanic journeying. But the other 3 are breathwork ceremonies. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we use the breathwork in the same manner and fashion, and this is what. So this is what I want to talk about. It's also timely because we're just beginning to reveal, and this is something that I like very much, that starting in May, Rhythmia will be offering 1 week a month, 1 week out of every month. I think it's the 3rd week of every month is going to be a breathwork only week, meaning all of the ceremonies during the week, all 7 ceremonies will be breathwork ceremonies. So this is for people who either can't do plant medicine or have some major concerns, whether they're health concerns or job concerns or family, just people in their life that are very contentious about plant medicine. And for people who just love the breath work. So this is serving. We're finding that a lot of people are calling into Rhythmia and wanting to have the experience, but for one reason or another can't or shouldn't be doing plant medicine. So we've been finding in those 3 breathwork ceremonies in each week that people are getting as powerful and in some cases even more powerful sessions than the plant medicine themselves. So this has led Jerry to surmise that maybe we're onto something here. Maybe breathwork can hold its own, and this is really, to tell you the truth, this is what I've been doing for the last 10 years of my life, working with breath work, and I put on seminars in the transformational breath process. So I know it's already a winning formula, and now as we do it in Rhythmia, tied to the Rhythmia way, we're just going to expand our appeal to a larger base of folks. So with that, let me just see who else is on. Linda, that's awesome. Excellent. Yeah, so we'll have to get you signed up for the breathwork week. Asen, hi. He's been communicating with me, so good to see you on here. Liam, big love from the south of Spain. Great. Dale Joyle, all right. Breathworker in the Vancouver area. Dale, if you're on there, send me your email address because there's a lot of people that come here from Vancouver that want a breath worker when they return to that area. So we can refer people your way. Heather, can't wait to get here. We can't wait to have you either. And Bethany, so in need of transitioning back to my soul. Yes, indeed. That's what you'll get here. Lynn Smith, first time here. Excellent. I'm honored that my Facebook Live is the first one you're on. So, and Kim here from HCI. What's HCI mean? Anyway, Peter says hi. Excellent. Kim, Peter, glad to have you on. Libby, and Libby, see you Sunday. So that's where we left off. So let's get into the content. Breathwork is a tool for shamanic journey. First, perhaps defining shamanic journeying. This is really what we're doing. The cornerstone of this Rhythmia program, the Rhythmia way, is shamanic journeying, which is really a ceremonial experience where you go into self-reflection. It's very much an individual experience, even though you're having it as a group. It's very much an inward experience. It resonates with me a lot with my monastic background because, you know, our shamanic journeying tool, for lack of a better way to describe it, it was meditation. And so I had a lot of experience in this kind of working with meditation, and then of course working with breath work, and then working now with plant medicine. So it's a ceremony where you of deep reflection. You usually start with an intention for what kind of unfoldment you're looking for, and then from that intention you let it go, and how that intention gets filled is up to the medicine, whether it's plant medicine or whether it's breath medicine or whatever medicine you're using. So this is what we mean by shamanic journeying. Now, and as I mentioned, I like to say we have 7 ceremonies here at Rhythmia. 4 are plant medicine, but 3 are breath work. And really emphasizing that the breath work experience that we have is very much a ceremonial experience. We're still coming in, setting an intention for our session. We're having this inner self-guided experience, an experience of unfolding to our higher self. And just like the plant medicine, a lot of amazing things can result, a lot of great results. So whereas in our traditional shamanic ceremonies, the medicine is the plant and the combination of the vine and the root, is it? Anyway, that's more the shaman's field of expertise. For me, though, I like to say that the medicine we're using in our breathwork ceremonies is our original medicine, and that's oxygen. Oxygen is our original medicine. And to go even more finely into that, I would say that it's the prana, the pranic energy, or the life force energy imbued in oxygen, which is really the medicine that we're using. This is our own life force, our, if you will, particles of our soul. This energetic particle, it is the fundamental unit of energy that makes us living, breathing, feeling, sentient beings, as opposed to lumps of clay here on this earth. So it's this life force energy that gives us life, gives us the ability to think, gives us the ability to transcend our experience. And this is really what this shamanic journey is all about, learning to transcend our everyday experience, which is really egoic experience, an experience led primarily from our ego being front and center in our consciousness, and learning to release that ego, let it sit in the backseat for a little while, tune in to our higher self, our soul self, our energetic self, and then get the downloads that self has for us. So let's tune in. A few more people. Lisa, happy Friday from Michigan. Glenn J. Adams joined. I've been in communication with Glenn. Hey, how are you doing? Shane, hi from Ireland, soon to be with us. Excellent. With Taita, that's beautiful. Kim Weiss. Oh, HCI is Gerard's publisher. Excellent. HCI bringing us Shit the Moon Said, the book that Jerry just put out, and soon to make it to the bestsellers list, no doubt. So thanks, Kim. Zachary first as well. Excellent synchronicity brought me. You'll find, Zachary, and like everybody here, that synchronicity plays a big role in our experiences here at Rhythmia. And Asen says, breath is the connection of the body to the soul, indeed. And what's the end of the book? I didn't get that, Lisa. You'll have to say that again. Karen Perry, hello, first time here too. Excellent, we got a number of first timers. We've increased our viewership right now to 54. The name of which book? My book right here is Align, Expand, and Succeed, the book I was part of. The book we were talking about that was published by HCI, Jerry's book, is called Shit the Moon Said, SHIT funny character T, the moon said. And this is Jerry's conversation with the moon, which is actually what brought Rhythmia into existence. We won't get into that today, but tune into Jerry's podcast and you'll find, or his Facebook Lives, and you'll get that information. And you'll definitely get it when you come here, because that is the story in the class that frames your whole experience here. It's quite phenomenal, and it sets you up for having a phenomenal experience here. So we're talking again about breathwork as a tool for shamanic journeying. We've determined that breathwork is a ceremony just like the plant medicine ceremonies we have. The medicine we're using is oxygen. And so this often raises questions in people's minds. They say, well, I breathe oxygen every day, and I don't have any really transcendent experiences. In fact, my life is very ordinary, mundane, normal. So what gives? How can you make this claim? So I like to explain that by using an analogy. Most of you out there probably have drank wine or some kind of drink in your life, and so I'll use that as an example. Now, what happens if you're drinking one glass of wine? You drink one glass of wine, you might feel a little more relaxed, a little more at ease, but generally not a lot is going to happen, right? Most of us can handle one glass without it changing our state of being all that much. But what happens if you drink 3 or 4 glasses, or maybe 5 or 6, or even 7 or 8 glasses of wine? Then things are going to start to happen, right? Your consciousness is going to change. Your state is going to shift. Now, with wine, unfortunately, usually that state doesn't shift for the better. But I use this analogy, replacing wine then with oxygen. So the normal breathing we do, which if you tune into some of the past Facebook Lives, you'll know that most of us out there breathe at about 20% of our capacity. So the minimal amount of breathing we're doing on a daily basis is like drinking that one glass of wine. Not a lot is happening. We're consuming oxygen to a level that is not really affecting our consciousness for any better. But as we engage in this technique of transformational breath, the rhythmic breathing that we're teaching here at Rhythmia, where the technique is designed for us to imbibe abundant amounts of oxygen, to increase our capacity to breathe, to increase the rate of breath, so we're processing more oxygen and more life force energy in a short period of time. This is equivalent to drinking those 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 glasses of wine. And then things start to happen. Our consciousness starts to shift. Things, our perceptions, what I like to say is it's almost like quantifiably bringing our relationship with our soul to a quantifiable level. Think about that. The more life force energy that you can consume, the more life force energy you have in your field then. It's in you. This life force energy is the highest vibrational energy that we are. And as a result, as we get more of it in us, our consciousness is magnetically drawn towards that life force energy. And the perceptions that it brings, it's more in alignment with our higher self, our soul self, our God self. Whereas our normal everyday consciousness is more in alignment with our ego, our taskmaster, our get things done consciousness, which is an important aspect of living here on this planet. But it's like, the ego is like the manager of the company. The soul is like the CEO of the company. And if you're letting the manager try to do the visionary thinking of the CEO, usually the company goes right down the tubes. And in the analogy, our feeling, we are the company. And if you're feeling bad, if you're feeling depressed, feeling anxious, tense, stressed, that's the company going down the tubes. That's the result of your ego trying to run you incorporated. So we don't want to do that. We want to have the soul in charge. And so hopefully you get that analogy then. By breathing in deeper and deeper amounts, more abundant amounts of oxygen and life force energy, we become more aligned with that higher self. So what happens then when we get aligned? Let's talk about that in a minute. Let's just tune in. Dana Wallace joined. Hey, Dana. Nadivis, where is Rhythmia? Rhythmia is in Costa Rica, the Guanacaste region, which is the, what would we say, northwestern region of Costa Rica. It's a drier area of Costa Rica, really enjoyable, one of the more popular areas with Westerners, people from Norte Americanos. Karen Perry, hey there, Lisa. All right, so that's where we got Jason. Would you also say that bringing in more soul energy shifts and heals the body as well? Yes, I would definitely say that you embody soul more fully and have daily shamanic view experience of life. Yeah, so today's focus is not so much on the body, but of course, this kind of breath work, working with our breath and our life force energy affects us on all dimensions of our being. Physical dimension, mental, emotional dimension, and spiritual dimensions of our being. So, whichever one we're focusing on, we might get more of that, but we're always getting residual emotional and physical energy benefits as a result. And then, that you embody more fully and have a daily shamanic experience. That to me is really the essence of this practice, especially with breath work, because how often do you breathe? All the time, right? So my goal for you really is to learn how to make every breath you take a shamanic experience, meaning that it can be as easy as taking a breath to put you in that higher connection, that connection with your higher consciousness. And then this is what Jason's saying. You're basically living each day, each moment from a shamanic experience. And so I see a lot of hearts going on there. If that resonates with you, yeah, give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts. Makes me feel good, makes me feel like we're on track. So yeah, very good point, Jason, and good clarification. So we're about to talk basically about the effects of this. So we talked about this being a ceremony. We're using the medicine of oxygen. We're by oxygenating ourselves more, that's what gives us the shift in consciousness. What is really the experience of that shift in consciousness? And Jenny, can I bring any intention into my breath work, such as integration of higher consciousness into my current form? Yes. Yes, Jenny Lee. You can bring any intention in, and it's always good to start with an intention because that is your energetic direction. You're creating a lot of energy in your system, and if you have an intention, it's like a magnet that starts drawing that energy towards its fulfillment. Your intention can be anything you want it to be. I also gave a class on creating powerful intentions, which we'll probably do again here because it's such an important part of the process. But short answer is yes, you can use any intention. I'll add that ideally the intention would be something positive, meaning something you're moving towards rather than the intention of getting rid of something. All right, so if your intention is to get rid of anxiety or stress, just flip that. If you got rid of the anxiety or stress, what is that making room for? More peace, more joy, more excitement in life. So that would be your intention. I am peaceful, I am joyous, I am excited. And that's what you breathe on. So hopefully that's clear. So the experience of this higher self tends to come, in the ceremonies we do here at Rhythmia, we talk about 4 types of journeys. And within the breath work, I essentially add a 5th one, and I'll let you know what that is. So 4 types of journeys are first a body journey. So what happens as you start bringing more life force energy into your body, you start feeling that energy physically. You start to get physical sensations. Also, as the breath and that energy enters your body, it starts to activate any latent, stored, repressed or suppressed emotional energies that you've been holding on to. Sort of loosens your grip on them, and those start to bubble up. So when those energies bubble up, you also experience those in a physical form. Some of the different physical experiences you might have are, first of all, you might feel a little bit dizzy and dry mouth. That's usually more of just an equilibrium sensation. Your body's getting used to this new amount of energy, and it just needs to come to a balance. Then you might feel tingling. Usually you'll feel tingling, all over your body. It can be gentle. It can be very strong. It's often concentrated in your hands and your feet, often in your face. Those areas of your body can feel like they start to lock up, like get tight. We call this tetany. It's a technical term for that energy accumulating in various parts of your body. So like I said, your hands might look like claws, or we like to say little dinosaur hands. Your face may get like very tight. Your lips especially often happens. You might even feel like cramps and things happening as your body tightens up. This is just your body reacting to this energy coming up as it's trying to find its way out, the old repressed or suppressions. So it's really nothing to worry about, and it's an indication that you're doing things right. You might feel very heavy, like a lead weight. Like some people just feel pinned to the ground, like nothing. There's no way they could get up. On the flip side, other people feel very light. I'll often see people's hands, arms just raise off the ground, even their legs. I'm just waiting for their whole body to come up and levitate around the room. We haven't had anybody actually levitate yet, but the sensation definitely is there, and arms and legs have definitely levitated. You might feel hot or cold, or both sensations moving through your body at the same time. So all of these are just indications that you're doing technique properly and that you're starting to activate energies within you. You're starting to sense the greater abundance of energy that's within you. With that, let's look in. Julie Mackard, hey, Christian, so awesome that you're there. Rhythmia. So Julie Mackard is a breath facilitator. She was actually in my very first seminar, the one I took that started me on my breathwork journey. So she was training me. We just had another guy here who trained me in my facilitator training. It's Jim Bacon. He just came to Rhythmia a couple weeks ago. So there's a big, you'll find out, there's a big breath family out there. Great to have you on, Julie. Are you planning to come to Rhythmia? And then let's see, Catherine is saying, I'm so thankful to hear this. I've experienced the locking up but didn't understand it. Great. Sought out info but never found an explanation. Thank you. It keeps me from meditating for a while because it scared me. Yeah, so nothing to be scared of. The important thing is that none of this is anything to be afraid of. Your body and this life force energy especially is intelligent, and it knows what you need. And anything that you're experiencing, like we like to say here at Rhythmia, what's coming is going. What's coming is going. What does that mean? It means whatever comes up, whether it's sensations, and oftentimes, you might experience a dark emotion or a dark feeling, and you're like, where did that come from? Did somebody give that to me? Is there an evil force coming in to mess with me? No, it's dark energy that was locked inside of you. You just happen to have such a hold on it that you are, doing a good job at ignoring that it was there. But as Sigmund Freud would say, unexpressed emotions never die, they just reemerge in darker and uglier ways. So any energy you're holding is still going to come up, and if it doesn't come up naturally, it's going to come up in darker and uglier ways. So this should be incentive for you to find a way to start processing this energy, and this breath work is one of those ways. So thank you, Catherine, and nothing to be concerned about. let yourself, the best thing to do if you feel any of these sensations is to let yourself feel it. Actually, let yourself feel it and keep breathing with it. It's the breath work that's the difference between you just feeling uncomfortable feelings and you actually moving those feelings, starting to move that energy out of your body to integrate that energy, as we like to say. So, so it's all good. Rachel, hey Rachel, she was here just like November or so. Great topic, beautiful. Jennifer, I love what's coming is going. Excellent. It's pretty much a standard slogan around here. So was that dark energy directly related to the topic of my meditation? Catherine, it could have been, or more than likely in your meditations usually on higher energies that we like to say that with the plant medicine, but with the breath medicine as well, it heals in order of priority, meaning that if you're trying to attain a high intention, but the pathway to that intention is littered with debris, the first step is to clear out that debris. So that debris is our old emotional baggage, our old wounds and all that kind of stuff. And so that stuff has to come up and be cleared before we have a clean shot at attaining our higher level intention. So hopefully that makes sense. So Catherine's going to be here on the 18th of this 18th. Excellent. Makes total sense. And we look forward to having you there, Catherine. So remind me of this conversation when you get off the bus. So back to our topic. So we started of the 4 types, or as I like to say, 5 types of journeys. First one is the body. So the second one with the breath work, and this is what I add in, it happens in the plant medicine too, but you can have an emotional journey. And we've basically more or less been talking about that at the same time as talking about the body, because a lot of those physical sensations are really physical signatures of emotional energy. So what I like to say is, we're all energy. Science has proven that all we are is energy. This solid matter is just condensed energy. E equals mc squared. Einstein's formula gives us a way to determine exactly how much energy is in this body. So, emotions are an energy. Emotion, energy in motion. And what we do, though, is we stop the motion of that energy, and then we lock it down. So as we start to release our grip on it and that energy comes up, it manifests in different ways, and that's physical sensations and emotional sensations. So you can have a very emotional experience during this breath work. Often an emotional catharsis, where just a big wave of emotion will come up, say sadness, and you'll just cry. Then you'll purge that sadness by crying, but continuing to breathe, right? You cry and let some out, then you breathe in, and you bring in renewed energy, push out more of that sadness in your life until you've cycled in new, fresh energy, and you've let go of that sadness you've been holding. The same way whether it's anger, the same way whether it's fear or stress or anxieties, even the same way if it's joy. A lot of us suppress our joy because we're told as young children to be seen and not heard, or not to be so loud and boisterous. That happened to me. I can remember the exact experience. In Texas, in the backyard, my mom's talking across the fence to another neighbor. I was just loud and, probably 10 years old, and, playing around the yard, and I kept trying to get my mother's attention, and, in my loud and boisterous way. And finally she just turned to me and said, "Would you be quiet?" Of course she was trying to have an intelligent conversation with the neighbor. And, I was like, you want me to be quiet? I was hit by that sort of angry energy. I said, "I'll show you." And I shut up. I became I locked down my emotions. I didn't express myself from that point forward for many, many years, and became pretty much a miserable, moody kid. So that's what can happen. We lock down those emotions, and then that messes with us. So we're dredging that up and those things. So, you know, that can be joy that you lock down. So when you finally unlock it, it may come up and you may just start laughing hysterically. And that often happens in breath work and even in the other types of ceremonies. So, yeah, great. The next kind of journey is what we call the pinta. Pinta means pictures in Spanish, and that's basically, you know, with the breath work, you can experience visions, sacred geometry, patterns of life in sacred geometric patterning. You can experience colors. You can experience visions of, you know, the faces of historic figures or spiritual figures like the Buddha or Christ or Krishna or, you know, your favorite spiritual master. You know, you may get pictures of old experiences, you with your parents, you with your lover or your partner, you know, different scenes where things happened in your life, you know, like that one I just expressed to you about, you know, my mom speaking with the neighbor over the fence and telling me to shut up. So visions can come. Then you can have what's called a consult. The difference between the pinta, the visions, and the consult is when your visions start talking to you. So it may be maybe your dog you see in a vision, and then it starts talking to you. It says, "Hey, Christian, you know, you should be nicer to all your friends." You know, that becomes a consult. It might be the dog, or spell dog backwards, and it might be God. Right? So, but you know, that divine energy will often talk to you through your visions, through the people in your visions, or through the inanimate objects in your visions, or the animals in your visions. So if they're talking to you, and it also, you know, a consult can also come in a like a thought that just gets dropped into your head. What, you know, the way I like to describe this is as we get connected to this higher self, you know, we're bringing more life force energy into our body. We are, we're connecting with that higher intelligence. And that higher intelligence is where our intuition comes from. Our intuition is the expression of that higher intelligence. So we may have been struggling with problems even for years, some kind of thing where we're trying to find a solution to, and all of a sudden, out of the, you know, pops into a thought bubble, the solution. And but you may hear a voice telling you something to do. You know, you may see, you know, like typewriterness, you know, words printed across your consciousness. So all these qualify as the consult, right? So these are the main types of journeys: the body journey, the emotional journey, the pinta, the visions, the consult, the downloads of information. And then there's a final one, the fifth one and final one is called the nada. And nada in Spanish means nothing. And in the breath work, I like to say that never does nothing actually happen. What usually happens is that what happened is not what you expected to happen. So often you go in with some kind of expectation. I want it to be this way. And when it doesn't happen that way, people invariably come out of their session and go, "I didn't get anything." It's like, well, you know, I start looking, you know, digging in deeper. It's like, you know, what do you mean you didn't get nothing? Well, you know, I didn't get any visions. I didn't get any consults. Or, you know, it's like, well, how are you feeling right now? And they'll say something like, "Well, I feel very relaxed. I'm very, you know, I'm very peaceful in this moment." I said, "Well, how peaceful and relaxed are you in everyday life?" And they'll say something like, "Well, rarely. You know, it's not part of my normal life." So I'm like, "So, you know, you're saying you got nothing because you didn't get the visions or the consults, but here you're sitting with a deep peace that's normally not part of your experience. Is that nothing?" So recognize that nothing is often something that you didn't expect. Okay? So, so that kind of wraps up the content of what I had to share with you today. You know, basically wrapping up the idea, the breath work can be a tool for shamanic journeying, for journeying into the realms of our higher consciousness, making connection with our soul nature, making connection with our higher self, and learning how to download information from that connection so that we can use it to guide our lives here on this earthly plane. And that's going to help us live lives that are happier, more fulfilled, more joyous, more in relationship, in harmonious relationship with others, rather than to be negative or anxious, tense, you know, always wanting more, not knowing where to look. So, so hopefully this is helpful. Let's see if anybody said, doesn't look like we got any more. Oh, yeah, they started. So, body is beta, Rachel. Any advice for empaths? I ground every night, but I can't do that at the Super Bowl in Minnesota. So I breathe in and out. What's something I imagine if I'm in public and I can't do breath work? So to answer that question, one, if you're an empath and large crowds, you know, affect you, first of all, don't go into those large crowds. So I wouldn't advise you to go to the Super Bowl if the Super Bowl is going to knock you for a loop. But what I want to stress here is that your sensitivity, an empath means that you're extra sensitive. And your sensitivity is actually a gift. For us to really live life to the fullest, we need to be sensitive. It's our sensitivity that allows us to open up to the fine nuances of life. It's actually, you can't actually perceive that higher self without a certain degree of sensitivity. And if you're, so, you know, at the same time, then a lot of people, you know, complain, people who are empaths, that, you know, they're getting, they're overly sensitive. So that, you know, that people's energy is coming in and taking over your energy. So one of those, you know, this may be a tough love statement, but one of those, one of the reasons there is a hint of victim consciousness within us, meaning that we still believe that our life is affected by the energies of those around us, meaning that they have more power over us than our own consciousness has over our ability to stay centered and whole. So that's the first thing to really understand, is that you are the most powerful force in your field, and that any other energy that comes in, you really have the power to block out if you really want to. So then there's techniques we would use. You know, when I was a monk, you can visualize an energetic bubble around you. You can have mantras or phrases of, you know, I'm impervious to the negative energies of others, and yet I radiate love and goodwill, and I accept in only the reflection of that love and goodwill. You know, different ways to basically consciously activate that strength within you. Again, remember that you are stronger than any other energy that's trying to influence you. And I know, being fairly empathic myself, that it's not always easy, but I know too from my own experience that it can be done, that you can make that choice, and it starts by recognizing that you indeed are the most powerful entity in this field of your consciousness. So hopefully that helps. Chantal, do you recommend starting this breath work or another form of breath work when one is having a panic attack? Yes, I do. And before answering that, Jason says, Ho'oponopono is a good mantra in crowds. Yeah, so look that up if you don't know what that is. But it's a great way to to reframe your relationship to energies in the crowd. So Chantal, yeah, panic attacks, anxiety attacks, all that usually are exacerbated by not breathing. When we panic, we tend to breathe very shallow and rapid, or we hold our breath completely. And that is not only caused by a panic attack, but continues to reinforce a panic attack. If you want to actually induce a panic attack, just breathe like that for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, and you'll start to feel anxiety and panic. So the good news of that is the reverse is true. That, to feel more centered, to feel more grounded, to feel more peaceful, that comes with a breath pattern that's deeper, more fluid, and relaxed. So if you just go into, if you're having a panic attack, the best thing to do without knowing this technique full on is just to take gentle rhythmic breaths. Relax as much as possible and full breaths and continuous rhythmic breaths. So, the same amount of time in is the same amount of time out, and connected, meaning you're not pausing, you're not stopping the breath. And then as you breathe, it might be, your panic breath is like this. You might be able to breathe like this at first when you're doing it, but then you'll start to get deeper and longer, and you'll find that starts to change your state. So you can bring yourself out of a state of panic and into a state of more peace and centered focusedness by just letting your breath, just focusing on your breath, focusing on the inhale and the exhale in a relaxed, cyclical manner. So hopefully that helps. And then Linda, thanks so much for your wisdom and guidance and continuing to do my breathwork every day since leaving Rhythmia. Excellent. It's perfect right before meditation and leads to great insights. Love you. Thank you, Linda. I love you too. And that really is the truth. The more that you do this breath work, the more that I like to do it as a precursor to meditation. But we'll talk about in a future segment if it can actually replace meditation. But I like to do my house cleaning, sweep the porch, so to speak, with the breath work, so that then when you sit down to meditate, you don't have to worry about that, internal house cleaning. You're there already, and then you can really use meditation, to go deep and get connected to that soul. So that's my Facebook Live for today. R. Christian Minson here at Rhythmia Life Advancement Center in Costa Rica. If you're interested in coming, the number is right here at the top of the page. You can call our office there. They're located in Malibu, California. They'd be happy to give you any information, low pressure, anything you want to know. Also, rhythmia.com, RYTHMIA, rhythmia.com is the website. Like I said, we're here to support your journeying into your higher self. We're here to support your miracles, your intentions. And 93% of you leave having firmly felt that your miracle was attained here. And we're working hard to increase that number, and we want yours to be next in line. So if you want to be, if you want to know, you want to keep up with me and my breathwork, you're welcome to friend me on Facebook, R. Christian Minson. I just ask that if you do that you send me also a message that says, I saw you on your Facebook Live, so I don't just skip over. I get a lot of friend requests, and I don't always accept all of them if I don't know who they are. But I want to if you're somebody who's been on this broadcast. So with that, bow to you with a deep namaste, and look forward to seeing you next week here on Rhythmia Live, if not here at Rhythmia Life Advancement Center sometime soon. Over and out.